Erika here with PrepScholar GMAT. 28% of all students who take the GMAT will retake the test at least once. However, many of these students don't know what to do leading up to and on their retake test day, and they end up with a smaller score improvement than they wanted. The average score improvement on a second try is only about 30 points. In this video, we'll go over 7 tips for retaking the GMAT to ensure you get the score you're aiming for. As always, if you like this video, please hit the button to subscribe, and feel free to head over to our blog for even more great GMAT content. The links are in the description. Tip number 1, figure out if you really need to retake the GMAT. Look at the average scores for the schools you're applying to. If your score is at least average for all of the schools, your time is likely better spent somewhere other than improving your GMAT score, like writing your essays or ensuring that your recommendation letters are top-notch. Similarly, if your score is far below average for the schools you're interested in, you may be better served by reevaluating your goals than retaking the test. Tip number 2, give yourself enough time to study. While you're allowed to retake the GMAT only 31 days after your last test day, if you can take more time to study, definitely do it. At PrepScholar, we recommend that to improve up to 50 points, you should plan to study 50 hours. For 50 to 100 points, you should plan to study 100 hours, and so on. Make sure you can fit in enough hours of study before test day to improve your score the amount that you want. Additionally, make sure those study hours are reasonably spread out. Even if you can study 10 hours in one day, it's not going to be very effective. Cramming is bad, so give yourself a wide window. Tip number 3, make a complete study plan leading up to your test date. So questions to consider. What days will you study? How long will you study on each day? What will you study on each day? What materials will you use? When will you take practice tests, etc.? Having a plan laid out will ensure that you don't somehow end up behind schedule and needing to cram or having focused on the wrong things. Which brings me to tip number 4. Get your enhanced score report, or ESR, from your last test date. The ESR breaks down your GMAT scores further than your official score report, showing how you performed on different question types, on different question difficulties, at different times in the tests, and more. This allows you to see where you struggled on test day and build your study plan around mastering those weaknesses. For example, if you have lower subsection rankings for reading comprehension and critical reasoning than for sentence correction, you should likely focus your attention on improving your passage analysis. If you spend more time on questions you get wrong than on questions you get right, you likely need to work on your process of elimination and guessing strategy. If you miss more and more questions over the course of each section, you likely need to improve your test-taking stamina by doing more long-duration practice, and so on. The ESR is available for purchase on the MBA.com website. It costs $25, but in the face of wasting a $250 test date, it's definitely worth the cost. Tip number 5, consider personalized prep. Even with the ESR, it can be hard to plan around your strengths and weaknesses. For example, maybe you need to work on your data sufficiency subscore. Well, what is it about data sufficiency questions that you're struggling with? Is it how you're approaching the question stem? Is it how you're interpreting the statements? Is it wasting time doing unnecessary work? Then, once you figure out what specifically you're struggling with, how do you master the weaknesses that you've discovered? And how does that fit into your study plan? This is where bringing in an expert can really help. Options like PrepScholar's online program, which creates a study schedule specifically for you based on your performance on a diagnostic, or one-on-one tutoring with highly qualified instructors like me or the other GMAT experts at PrepScholar, ensure that your study leading up to test day will be as effective as possible in improving your scores. Like the ESR, these options typically cost money. However, many programs like PrepScholar have a money-back guarantee if you don't see the score you're looking for. If you're interested in how personalized prep at PrepScholar can help you improve your GMAT score, go ahead and check out the links in the description. But for now, on to tip number 6. Take test day seriously. Many test takers put a lot of effort into months of preparation for test day, only to skip breakfast the morning of the test, stay out late the night before the test, or to stand too close to a coworker with the flu the week before the test. Don't let the last few days or hours before your retake ruin your second chance. Strive to be in your best possible condition on retake day. Which leads us to tip number 7. Use your previous testing experience to build your confidence. Many people do poorly their first time taking the test because it's a new experience. They don't know what to expect from test day, which can create a lot of anxiety. This means that having gone through test day before, you have an advantage. You know exactly what to expect, from the palm vein scan to the workstations at the testing center to requesting a new scratch pad. In the weeks leading up to the test, you can use this experience to realistically visualize what success will look and feel like on test day. This will help you mentally and emotionally prepare yourself so you can be as confident as possible going into your retake. And those are 7 tips for making the most of your GMAT retake. If you have any questions on what we talked about today or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, good luck on your retake, and happy GMAT studies.